Hello, and welcome to the first video, in a multi-part series on, becoming better at note-taking. Introduction. In this current age of content overload, we tend to forget most of the information we encounter. One of the ways to compensate for the information loss is to capture what we learn in a form which does not rely on our memory. Notes, either physical or digital, are a cheap and efficient secondary storage for our memory. Consequently, our childhood focuses on taking down notes in a certain way. We have taken this practice into our adult lives and make notes in the same way in sessions such as classes, in meetings, reading a book and hearing a podcast. Often, we fail to take down notes when we ought to have done so. We also make notes that we never refer back to, either because they are too shallow or they are too detailed, or we have no way of finding which note has what information. How do we improve this process so that we become better at capturing, retaining and reusing information? This article is an attempt to share some of the ways I have used to take down notes. What are good notes? Before we get into improving our note-taking process, let us first understand what we are aiming for, i.e., good notes. We will start with the principle that, we take notes to remember what we have learnt. From this principle, we get 4 goals, listed below. Good notes should capture information quickly and efficiently without breaking the current flow of thought or discussion. They should be worth going back and referring to. They ought to convey complete and coherent information of the concepts at a later point than the time of scribing. Plus, they need to assist us in building on this picture with the current context. Now that we know these goals, let us look at the process of note-taking. Let us now look at the note-taking process. The note-taking process has 4 logical stages. Listening during a session, scribing during the session, post-session analysis and cleanup of the notes after the session, and referring back to the notes at a later time. All 4 stages can be optimized to ensure that the process attains the note-taking goals. Generally speaking, all 4 stages are crucial to the success of the process, but we can choose to implement each of them in different ways per our requirement. For example, notes taken during a meeting would require us to be diligent in stage 1 and 2. Stage 3 can be usually solved by asking for feedback or inputs from other participants. An email program or project management tool handles stage 4. On the other hand, if the focus is taking notes from a series of lectures on a subject, then all 4 stages will require an equal amount of effort. So we need to customize the emphasis on these 4 stages based on the outcomes, content, assistive tools available and the time. That's the end of the first video. Future videos will focus on the 4 stages: listening, scribing, refining and referring. Thank you, and please don't forget to like and subscribe.